it is a stormy day for me outside. I'm looking at the window, and it just so happens that I received a very challenging and intelligent comment from Stormy Ascent on a video I made called Zero Guard Buzz Cut, the new norm or a novelty. People like me better with hair, end quote. Because by the way, when I made the video with my wife where I basically said, okay, I'm gonna grow my hair back out, what's funny is it received a lot of likes and hardly any dislikes. So it's funny, what that tells me about my own audience, over 4,000 people, is you've really enjoyed basically a 3-month journey of me lavishing in the life of the Zero Guard Buzz Cut and truly loving it. But at the same time, a lot of my subscribers are totally cool with me growing my hair back out, and they don't see that as hypocritical at all. That's what that tells me. But I want to read this comment, and I want us to sort this out. So here it is, quote, "What message is this sending to your viewers? Your family likes you better with hair. Most men want to eventually settle down and start a family. For a family guy, you're better off with hair. Your decision to grow your hair out again for your family's sake is understandable, but it sends out the message that hair is preferred, despite all the BS that's been said before. What good is confidence and dominance without love?" End quote. I think that last line pretty much sums it up. What good is confidence and dominance without love? So let's talk about that. Obviously, I've made it more than abundant that what makes men attractive in reality is not how much hair you have. It's that you're a confident person. Is that you know your identity. You don't depend on other people to build you up. You have a skill set and you're confident in that, and people know you for that thing that you're good at. You're kind to people. You teach people. You serve other people. And you're humble. You know that you're not perfect. You know that you're imperfect, and you're always looking for ways to improve. That's humility in my definition. All of those things define true masculinity. And I do not believe what I just said is BS. I believe that's truth. I believe what is BS is people will watch my videos, hear that truth that I just said, and still think the world's judging them based on hair loss. But again, it goes back to the fact that most of my viewers are much younger than me. They haven't lived through their mid-30s, and something you learn in your mid-30s is what your masculine identity is all about. Until then, you depend on superficial high school stuff that mattered when you were in high school, like hair and shoes and clothes and looking cool. And when in reality, boy, that's not the truth. And that's why I like making these videos, because it's to help you transcend from high school mentality to actual masculine man, what makes you attractive post high school, post college, for the rest of your life. That's what this channel is about. So let's talk about that though. What good is confidence and dominance without love? And that's very true. You know, this whole concept of and you know me, you believe it in your heart, right? That I absolutely prefer Zero Guard Buzz Cut and beard scruff. To me, it's the perfect expression of what's on the inside of me as far as my confidence level and my identity. But again, when we look at what makes a man attractive, it's not just about being a leader and being confident. It's also about negotiating and being kind and helpful and serving others. So obviously, as a man who's been married nearly 10 years and has 2 kids, I know what it's like to be prepared to take charge and to make rules and lay down the law and believe in myself while doing it, and maybe not always having everybody on my side, but at the same time knowing how to negotiate and say, you know what, if this matters to you, I can give up this thing that I like for you. Because why? Because family matters more than anything. Those are the people I care about and love the most. So ultimately, if they say, hey, you know what, I wouldn't mind you having hair again. Okay, you got it. So yeah, there is irony there. But does that send a mixed message to my viewers? Because again, as the elephant in the room is always that it's easy for a 37-year-old married man with 2 kids to say, and who still has most of his hair, to say hair isn't a big deal, when he's basically the epitome of everything that a lot of my viewers want. They want to eventually settle down, have a family, and a lot of them still would hope that they could have this much hair. So is that hypocritical? I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say I can totally understand that viewpoint. Totally makes sense. And for someone who doesn't have all of those things that I just described that actually make a man attractive, like skill set, confidence, being kind, being humble, knowing how to serve, all those things. If you don't have all those things, then I can totally see why you're depending on your hair. What else do you have? I guess that's the point of this channel, is it's always been focus on what you can control, not on what you can't, right? I'm telling you, as a 37-year-old married man of nearly 10 years and having 2 kids, I'm telling you now, speaking to you from the future, do you ever wish, yeah you do, you wish that the future version of yourself could talk to you and give you advice now as a 19-year-old or a 15-year-old or a 23-year-old, right? You wish that. Well, just consider, I am that. Okay, we may look a little bit different, but I am your future version of yourself talking to you now. And I'm telling you to focus on what you can control, not on what you can't. Because ultimately, I always like to say, what is the default of my channel? What is the default message or the opposite of this? If everything I'm saying is BS about hair not mattering and all these other things matter instead, if all that is BS, then what does matter? What is the true message I'm really saying? What is it that you secretly hope that I'm wrong and want me to say? Let me become that guy for a second. Oh man, how old are you? You're like 18, you've already got receding hairline. Oh man, you are not gonna make it in life. Let me tell you, look at me. I'm 37, been married for nearly 10 years, got 2 kids. My life is great. And look at this, I still got most of my hair. I got it made. Oh man, your life is gonna suck. Oh, look at you. You're pathetic, man. You got nothing going for you. And look, there's a lot of BS on YouTube going on that what makes you actually attractive out of high school is your skill set, your confidence level, your kindness, your humility. It's all BS, man. Don't believe that. All that matters is your hair, okay? That's the only thing that matters. So here's what you need to do. A, freak out, because this is a big deal. B, immediately run to a doctor, run to a drug, get Rogaine, or go get a hair transplant. Man, you better freak out you better obsess about this every single day. Your confidence level is based on what other people say and think about you, and more so, it's more about your perception of what they think and say about you. So dude, you totally need to freak out. All right, so there you go. There's an alternate reality where if everything I'm saying ultimately is BS, then you can choose the path of what I just said. I won't be there, but that's where you can go. If that's what what I'm saying is BS and I've sent out the wrong message, then follow that dark path. But as for me, I'm Nick Shell, and I always say, so many things in life are a choice. We get to choose to focus on what we can control and not what we can't. I think the default for so many people who end up being insecure about their hair loss, they're choosing to worry about things they can't control, and then they believe that people's perceptions and their own emotions are controlled by other people instead of themselves. So, I do find this challenging, and I do see the perception of hypocrisy in this. But ultimately, I still believe that it's a choice. And if everything I'm saying is BS, then you have to follow that the other way. You should say, if everything Nick's saying is a lie and a misconception, then A, you should stop watching my channel, and B, you need to commit your life to a level, to a world where you just, the world's constantly caving in on you. You'll never be good enough. You're headed for nothing but an awful life because of your hair loss. See, that's the mentality that you need to adopt. I'm drawing a line in the sand with this video. I'm saying, either believe what I'm saying is BS and it really holds no value and I'm living in a dream over here, or you choose to cross that line and follow me and listen to a voice of reason, which, by the way, I've mentioned this before, the voice of reason is often the unpopular perspective and viewpoint. Because again, confident men who know how to overcome things they can't control, they often are alone in their principles. But because they serve and help and teach other people, they invite others to come along. They don't expect everyone to be converted or to be open-minded to that, but they still invite others to come with them, away from the crowd, away from mainstream, away from the things that are going to make big pharma money and make hair transplant companies money. So yeah, and Jesus was the same way. Jesus, a lot of people didn't like Jesus and what he had to say. A lot of people liked him, but a lot of people didn't. A lot of people turned their back on him. And when I think of people who have really shown me example, I would think Jesus is a prime example of that. So, either I am full of BS, you should unsubscribe, stop watching my videos, and start freaking out about hair loss, or you should start realizing that other people don't need to control your sense of identity, and that perhaps the best thing you truly need is to continue watching my videos and not worry about the things about me that make it seem hypocritical in your mind. Don't focus on that. Focus on what you can learn from it. Because see, that's the thing, that's called deflection. When people fundamentally are opposed to the help that they need, they find a way to get distracted and focus on something else instead of actually focusing on what they need. Again, it goes back to being a victim versus being victorious. If you are a victim in your heart, if you believe that you can be insulted and hurt and misunderstood all the time, then guess what? You're going to hear truth and perceive it as lies. But if there is hope in your heart and you can be victorious despite this hair loss thing, then you can hear what I say and say, he is right, and I'm not going to let those other things distract me. You get to choose heaven or hell. What's it going to be? Comments. And purgatory is not an option.